Taylor. He said he told his team at the half it's all about one play at a time. He said defensively, they opened up the game with 2 big plays. We have to find a way to slow them down. I asked him how they can get T. Higgins the ball and get him more involved on offense. He said, we need everyone involved right now. Noah?
All right, Kate, team. Zach Taylor knew that this was going to be a challenge. He knew that this Steelers team was motivated, and certainly AFC North matchups are always different. He said that there's different rules based on which opponent you've got. And he knew that Pittsburgh, especially defensively, was not going to make that screen game easy. And offensively, he expected their best shot, which they've got. Here's a screen pass for Jaylen Warren on first down. And Warren snakes his way through the defense, spun down across the 30.
Well, let's take a look at our next-gen stats powered by AWS. George Pickens, he was a big difference in the first half. Second play of the game, beautiful route, and then the explosiveness to run away from defenders. And then this catch in the second quarter, 25% completion probability. But with a guy like him, I'm going to give that a 50-50. Okay? I think he's a 50-50 guy on a play like that.
He's just got such incredible hands, body control. You mentioned the word acrobatic. Contested catches. We've seen him do it all. Harris on the give, 2nd and 4. Got stopped initially and then surges forward to make it 3rd and 1.
See, this is the difference right now. Zach Taylor telling KT, we've got to find a way to slow them down, stop them. They have not been able to slow the run down. And because of that, Pittsburgh has had favorable 3rd down situations, and it's taken pressure off of Mason Rudolph. And he's not dropping back, having to throw it every down, because the running game, they've had balance in their offensive attack so far.
Henderson's been fairly quiet, went off for a couple of snaps before coming back in there. 3rd down and 1 to start this 3rd quarter for Pittsburgh. Harris up the gut, and he plows forward for the 1st down.
You know, it's interesting with Najee Harris. You hear anybody talk about him now, they say he's a power inside between the tackles, north-south runner. When he first went to Alabama out of California, he wanted to bounce everything. He wanted to be a perimeter runner, and I think he's realized with his body type and his style and the fact that the guys run real fast in this league, he's better off focusing on between the tackles, and he has really enhanced his game because of that.
Harris up to 53 yards in the touchdown, 5.3 yards per carry. Rudolph, and he has a connection to Miles Boykin.
See, that's kind of a change of pace. Boykin is normally in there when they're running the football. He is a blocking wide receiver. They broke a tendency that time and threw it. Boykin not only is in there for a pass play, but he gets the ball thrown his way.
Boykin has emerged as kind of a jack of all trades in some respects for this team. Jake Browning has to patiently, or really impatiently, wait for his chance to get back out there and hope that his defense can come away with a stop against a Pittsburgh offense that has looked probably the best they have all season. Robinson, the motion man, on 2nd and 4. Another handoff for Harris, and he will bulldoze his way to the 45. Well, Mike Tomlin, in his 17th season as the head coach here, it's still hard to believe because you always look at him and think that he's the young guy. He came in as the young guy. For the longest time, he was the young coach. He's 51 years old now. He's never had a losing season, hoping to keep that streak alive, and just so perfect for what this city embodies. Has been that way really every step of the way, and believes wholeheartedly in Mason Rudolph, as evidenced by what he said to KT at the end of the half. Here's a 3rd and 2 for Rudolph, dialing up another deep ball. He overthrows Calvin Austin, who had a step on DJ Turner.
Well, this was supposed to be a short throw. It was well defended by the Bengals, and it was kind of a double clutch move by Rudolph, and at the last minute he's going to take a shot at Austin. This was not a deep route by design. You could see Pickens running a short route, Freiermuth running a short route. Everybody was covered, and this is in essence throwing the ball away.
So Harvin will get it away for Charlie Jones, and he will make the fair catch. Just Pittsburgh holding on to this 24-0 lead. A good start for Cincinnati to get that stop. That's what Zach Taylor was clamoring for. They have not won in the division. They are 0-4 within the AFC North Zach Taylor knows that's irrelevant. This is a game that, regardless of the opponent, you got to have to be a playoff team. And that's a big play. T. Higgins.
Wow.
Extends. Higgins is gone. It's a Higgins house call. Touchdown. 80 yards.
Well, this is zone and not man. So it's not Joey Porter Jr. who is out there. I mean, he's on the field, but he's in zone coverage. Here's Porter. But as this route comes in, he's going to turn him loose to an inside defender. And you can see the inside linebacker, Mikel Walker, number 38, got all twisted around. Again, no Landon Roberts on the inside. Miles Jack just off the practice squad. Mikel Walker in there, and he got turned around on that play.
Longest play of the career of T. Higgins. Of course, in a contract year this year, and so much talk about his play. He had a huge fourth quarter and overtime last week to help them win the game. Had that touchdown with 39 seconds left, extending it across the goal line. And now they'll go for two to try to make this a two-score game. Browning surveys. Browning extending the play. Shovel. He's got it. Joe Mixon. Creative from Jake Browning.
Well, nice presence by Jake Browning. It has not been a good game for him so far with the 2 interceptions. He gets the pass to Higgins. Now he doesn't panic on the 2-point conversion. He knows he can't run it in there because Highsmith will tackle him, but he gets him close enough that he can flip this ball out to Mixon for the conversion. Well, let's go back to the touchdown on the long throw to Higgins. Watch, Porter turns him loose inside, and the linebacker and safety out of position to make a play.
Eric Rowe was the man who he had to beat. He did exactly that. Felt like almost the exact carbon copy of the Pickens touchdown to start the day. And Browning, that's what he said he likes to do. He likes to be a progression quarterback. It allows him to be in rhythm. You see his eyes moving from option 1, option 2, option 3. Finds Higgins for the long score.
Yeah, eyes moving and feet always ready to throw. And he hits that back foot and delivers a strike. And T. Higgins comes through when they need it. You know, last year they beat Pittsburgh here. Chase was not in the game. Higgins had 9 catches over 140 yards, was their main weapon.
Another touchback will start this Pittsburgh drive from the 25. It's been a tale of two cities since these two teams last met a month ago. It was the first career start for Browning, season high in yards for Pittsburgh, but since then, the Bengals beat 3 playoff position teams, Jacksonville, Indy, and Minnesota. How about 2 losses for the Steelers to 2-win teams before last week's eventual meltdown in Indianapolis? The Bengals in the 6th spot in the AFC. Now the Steelers on the outside looking in, and they got the start they wanted, but this second half hasn't been a continuation from what we saw the first 2 quarters. We'll see if Mason Rudolph can get his team back on the horse. Rudolph rolls, flips. Darnell Washington makes the grab, and will turn it upfield for 8.
A good decision again by Rudolph. It's a 3-man route. The 2 deeper routes are both covered. Washington is the 3rd choice. He's going to block, and then release, and Rudolph gets him the football.
Cam Sample applied the pressure. Rudolph, Todd mentioned it, the records he had at Oklahoma State, winning his quarterback in school history, 32-9 when he started. Inactive the first 12 games of the season. First action last week. Since week 16 in 2021. Warren, and he won't get there. They stop him in his tracks. Carter came up to kind of level him there and set up 3rd and short.
A nice play on that short yardage play. Remember a week ago against Minnesota, it was a stop on 3rd and 1 and then on 4th and 1 that really were the difference in the ball game. And their win against the Vikings, another opportunity right here.
Steelers have been stellar on 3rd down so far as we head into the night on Christmas Eve at Acrisure Stadium. 3rd and 1. Rudolph looking sideline for Pickens again. He's got it. Dropped it in the bucket. Pickens punches back. Touchdown.
So they got to be thinking 4-down territory here. 3rd down and 1. You go for a low percentage throw, but with this guy today, it's not a low percentage throw. Rouzier in coverage. Beautiful throw by Rudolph. And nobody in this stadium right now gives a flip whether George Pickens blocks on a running play.
66 yards. He's got 195. And Boswell makes it 31-8. It's been all George Pickens tonight. 2 touchdowns, big plays left and right, and he delivers again in front of this home crowd.
Knocks the ball at the line of scrimmage. Here's Highsmith working on the other side against Orlando Brown, and these 2 guys are a nightmare when you're behind like this on the scoreboard and you can't run the football.
Browning back to the air over the middle, back to Higgins. We'll reel that in and set up 3rd and short.
You know, it's interesting because when we were talking to Mike Tomlin, he said, you know, teams in this division, they know each other. They make roster moves and business decisions based on who they play. So they know they've got T.J. Watt and they know they got Alex Highsmith. And last year, Highsmith had a field day against the Bengals. Jonah Williams was the left tackle. So what do the Bengals do? They go and get Orlando Brown from the Chiefs as an unrestricted free agent to come in and play left tackle. And he's got his hands full today with Alex Highsmith as well. Tomlin
told Highsmith, you better be like Michael Jordan in The Last Dance. Take it personally. Go one-on-one with that matchup. Here's a 3rd and 2 for Browning. Rainbow delivery, and it's Higgins for a 1st down.
Good protection that time. Highsmith dropped into coverage. It's zone coverage. Browning's going to know that he's going to have time because Highsmith's going to drop out. It's a 4-man rush. He's got time. Watt's there late, but he hangs in there long enough to hit Higgins.
Higgins had that short catch earlier in the game. He's now over 100 yards. Had an 80-yard touchdown on the slant on the previous possession. Again, Cincinnati has moved the ball well. Can they cash it in and draw closer? Browning just so poised. Flag comes in as Sample makes the catch, turns it up along the sideline, and forced out of bounds inside the 40. We'll wait on the penalty.
I think Pittsburgh has played more zone early in this game than Cincinnati was
Offside.
expecting.
Defense, number 56. The penalties declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
Called on Alex Highsmith, just a little quick off the mark. But with this kind of a lead, they can continue to play zone defense. They don't have to take chances, and they don't have to commit extra bodies in the run defense because the Bengals have not been able to run the football.
Higgins, the motion man, has come alive now in this 2nd half. Browning feeling the pressure, dump it down, tipped up, nearly picked. A sigh of relief. Miles Jack in his return to action nearly had one.
Well, this time it was Herbig in for Highsmith, the rookie out of Wisconsin who's going to get pressure. He's there and affects the throw of Jake Browning. He beats Orlando Brown, and just around the feet of the quarterback affects the accuracy of the throw. And Miles Jack almost comes up with the 3rd interception of the day for the Steelers.
You can see it based on the reaction every time it happens, but I'm not sure there's a worse feeling from a defensive player than dropping a tipped interception like that. Miles Jack felt it there. 2nd and 10. Bengals get away with one. Browning across the field. Another dangerous throw is knocked away by Chandon Sullivan.
Zone defense and good pressure. That's been the recipe for Pittsburgh in this ballgame. They've gotten enough pressure on Jake Browning, and they've handled the run so they can keep 2 safeties back and play mostly zone. And it's worked to perfection so far.
McPherson has a big leg, career high of 59 yards, season high 56. Right now, it would be in the 54 range. 3rd and 10. Browning standing tall in the pocket over the middle. Tanner Hudson well short for the 1st down, but he does get an extra couple yards for a potential field goal or decision now on 4th down.
That time Pittsburgh decided to only rush 3 and drop 8. Just need to make a tackle ahead of the sticks, and they did. Cincinnati electing to go for it here on 4th down.
We've seen Browning's command of the huddle improve over the last 3 weeks after his first start of his career against Pittsburgh. Second 4th down chance of the day. Missed out on the 4th and inches in the first half. Harris looking to bounce it to the outside, and he does get positive yardage. Looked like he was dead to rights in the backfield, and he dragged DJ Turner forward for a couple.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Turner did his job for the Bengals. He's got to set the edge of the defense. He can't let anything get outside. The only problem is Najee Harris is a big dude. And so he not only gets a stiff arm in there, he just is a hard guy to wrap up. And even though Turner did his job, Najee Harris still turned it into a 4-yard gain.
Rudolph, play action on 2nd down. Pocket collapses. Hendrickson gets 2 arms around him, and Rudolph is dumped. And some extracurricular here. Hendrickson and Broderick Jones, the rookie, 1st-round pick out of Georgia.
Well, here's Hendrickson again working on Dan Moore, the left tackle, and Mason Rudolph kind of moved into that sack, but nobody opened downfield. Good coverage downfield by the Bengals, and they get to the quarterback.
Sets up 3rd down and 12. Of course, the playoff probability as big of any storyline in this game for these two teams. It's essentially a must-win game for the Steelers, and they put themselves in position. Mason Rudolph, a big reason why. This one's going to be incomplete. Great coverage by Turner on Deontay Johnson, and a 3-and-out force by this Cincinnati defense. So the Bengals get the stop, and they should get at least decent field position here. Presley Harvin has had an okay season so far. He had a big punt against Buffalo, 69 yards earlier in the season. Let's see what he has here. Big this game is for both teams. Cincinnati with a win has a 60% playoff probability. If they drop it, it's down to 20. Pittsburgh down at 1% if they don't emerge victorious. Browning in this Bengals offense from the 32. Mixon on the handoff, bounce it to the outside, shows off the speed. He's got a 1st down carry.
And Cincinnati has to not completely abandon the run. It's been tough sledding again, just like it was a month ago in Cincinnati. But you've got to make this Pittsburgh defense play honest. A good run by Joe Mixon right there.
Longest run of the day for the Bengals, and that was something that Jake Browning was pretty honest with us. He said that they have to be balanced, especially against a defense of this caliber. Otherwise, they're just going to take that one-dimensional aspect away from you. It felt like that's been the case at times today, but the passing game has still been pretty solid. Browning up over 270 yards, another completion to Boyd for 4.
So I want to go back to the 4th down play. This has been the secret sauce for the Steelers. We got 2 new safeties. So let's protect them by playing zone, and let's count on these 2 guys to unleash fury in the backfield. Pressure with those guys, play zone in the back end. On 4th and 5, typically from that part of the field, you're thinking man all the way from the Steelers. Zone defense, they get the turnover on 4th down, and it's worked very well for the Steelers defense so far.
Mike Tomlin said that the menu gets a little smaller, especially without Minkah Fitzpatrick out for today. Another catch for Yosivash as he just stumbles his way out of bounds at the 40. But they've done a good job of managing now. Patrick Peterson, just his 2nd career start at safety, has seen his snaps go way up at that position in the last 2 weeks. And the one thing that Tomlin did mention to us that I thought was 100% accurate, he said it's different when it happens in game, like last week. Minkah Fitzpatrick goes down in game, now you've got to scramble. Versus when you've got a full week of preparation like they've had this week, without KZ now suspended for the year, and Fitzpatrick out with the injury, you can really make sure that you're scheming correctly to make sure you have the right calls for your system and for your players, as Browning's going to fire on the run. Another catch for Tyler Boyd out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, the bad thing for the Steelers last week, it was consecutive plays. KZ gets suspended for the hit. He's out. The very next play, Minkah Fitzpatrick injures his knee, so they lose 2 starting safeties in 2 plays and had to really scramble for the rest of that game against Gardner Minshew and the Colts.
Peterson has done a good job in his spot. Eric Rowe over at the strong safety spot. Cincinnati moving it here now, 2nd and 4. Again, they trailed by 14 points entering the 4th quarter last week. Browning dials it up. Separation. Josivac makes the grab, and he is inbounds for a catch.
One official said out, incomplete. The other one said catch. Now it looks like they're going to agree on a catch. Heck of an effort by Josivac. Does he get both feet in?
Oh, it's almost simultaneous with the hand and the foot. It looks like that's going to be a catch. They're going to go quick and try to make sure there's no review. 22 yards on the pitch and catch. And now the challenge flag thrown by Mike Tomlin. A little surprising that Cincinnati wouldn't go and get that snap off quickly, but Tomlin wants to take another look. We'll see if Josivac got both feet in when we come back. It has to be clear that that second foot comes in, and it's just not clear at all. If anything, as Terry mentioned, it looks like his hand may have hit right there as that foot's coming down. And again, the decision not to go up to the line and quickly snap it by Jake Browning in this offense eventually bites them as they have to back their way up to the 34-yard line. So it's 3rd down and 4 instead of 1st down and 10. Browning pumps, keeps. Browning gets rid of it. Incomplete, and the flag is down. Threw in the direction of Drew Sample out of the backfield, and we'll wait on the penalty here.
Well, this is kind of an area where you'd think defensive holding as the quarterback was leaving the pocket.
Holding. Defense, number 24. It's a 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
As good as Joey Porter has been as a rookie out of Penn State, he has been flagged a lot. This is his 14th penalty. He's arguing his case, but there was holding early and holding late. Those yellow gloves and yellow sleeves show up pretty bright on a white jersey, too.
Listen, I know that you like the traditional uniforms of both these teams, and the color scheme is obviously great, but it does pay the price at times like that when you've got the bright colors as part of your uniform. As Brown picks up 2 yards on the catch and run. Porter, 2nd most penalized cornerback in the NFL, but in coverage, they've just loved his development. They've loved his aggression and really the confidence that he's played with as a rookie this season.
Oh, he's played really well. I mean, his forced incompletion rate is higher than any rookie in pro football.
2nd down and 8 now for Browning. Lofts it, open. Oh, it's dropped. Josivac had some space to work, and it's 3rd down.
I think when Josivac had to go up in the air for this, his eyes started kind of trying to pick up where he might get hit from, and he wasn't able to secure the catch. He goes up, his eyes go off the ball and look inside to see where the defender is, and he's not able to secure the catch.
Eric Rowe was waiting, biding his time for the hit. 3rd down and 8. Browning dials it up. Caught. Inbounds. T. Higgins.
Very similar to the play they did not convert on 4th and 5 the last drive. He's running a little out route to the side. Porter's in deep coverage. It's zone coverage. And it's a well-placed ball by Jake Browning.
Now a season high 140 yards for Higgins, 307 through the air for Jake Browning. He's just putting together another statistically impressive game aside from the 2 interceptions. Handoff from Mixon, dancing his way forward to the 10. Runs into a Steeler wall. That steel curtain right there. Michael Walker comes up to make the play, and the 10th play of the drive upcoming now for Cincinnati. This 3rd quarter dwindling down. Bengals had to come back from 2 scores in the 4th quarter. Eventually forced overtime on a late touchdown to Higgins last week in what was a win over the Vikings. Can they work their magic again this time in a division matchup on the road? Browning feeling the pressure. He goes down. Alex Highsmith. He's too fast.
Well, this is why Mike Tomlin said, make this look like a bad business decision. They went and got Orlando Brown. You make him look bad, and he did on that pass rush. Too quick off the edge. He's got great bend and acceleration to the quarterback, and Jake Browning had no chance on that one.
Makes it 3rd and 15. They will run it. Blitz coming. Sidearm caught down low. Mixon has no way to get up. And it will bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 4th down upcoming to start the 4th for Cincinnati. Down to the ground. He doesn't survive it. And now the 3rd quarter still has 3 seconds left.
Well, and the reason he had to get rid of this ball is Michael Walker came unblocked on the inside. The right guard in the center ended up blocking one guy. The right tackle was all tied up with TJ Watt, and the quick pressure forced the underneath throw, and it was incomplete anyway.
So they went all the way down to the other side of the field, because it's not like one of those where the quarter ends, you're at the 47-yard line and you just move 6 yards the other way. They're in the red zone. They're deep in the red zone. They went all the way to the other side of the field. They were lining up to start the 4th quarter, and then it was announced here they're going to put 3 seconds back on the clock. Everybody walked all the way back to the other side to get McPherson out here for this field goal attempt to end the 3rd.
Maybe it's good for McPherson. He got to keep his legs loose, go back and forth a little bit.
I like that.
He's been standing over there for a while.
See if he can get loose. Did not attempt that extra point. They went for 2, so he'll get this 35-yard field goal. McPherson continues to produce in his 3rd year out of Florida. 23 of 28 on the year, and has only missed from 50+ this season. And McPherson drills it. So now we are officially at the end of this 3rd quarter. 20-point difference. Pittsburgh, the outstanding first half. Cincinnati looked like maybe they were going to have a little momentum to start the 3rd quarter with a long touchdown to Higgins, but Pickens delivers that counter blow immediately back in favor of the Steelers. This holiday season, Illumination invites you to take flight into the thrill of the unknown with the action-packed new original comedy, Migration, in theaters now. So you get set now for this 4th quarter. Again, it was a 14-point deficit last week for Cincinnati to overcome on the road, or rather at home, I should say, against the Minnesota Vikings. They do that, but they did have to score 3 times to force overtime.
Right.
And that's what they're down right here, down 3 scores. This AFC playoff picture, Cincinnati right now in that 6th spot. Pittsburgh with the win would jump them with the division tiebreaker as well. And tied up at 8 and 7 potentially here, but so much on the line. Bengals just fighting for their own lives without Joe Burrow for the season. Jake Browning has won 3 games in a row with his team. The Steelers, losers of 3 in a row, felt like the season really was in the balance heading into this week, and a win keeps them very much in the hunt, along with Houston and Buffalo and Indy in this incredibly high traffic AFC. Burrow, Zach Taylor said he's been on the headset every week, has been down on the sideline pretty much every week. It's been a nice presence to have around, as well as an extension of the coaching staff as McPherson booms it to the back of the end zone.
Well, George Pickens was being talked about a lot this last week. This was the lack of effort on a block against Indy, but no lack of effort as a receiver tonight. And he has been a big play machine for the Steelers. And again, if you make these kind of plays and help your team to score 31 points with a whole quarter of football left, a lot can be forgiven. And when you win, a lot of that stuff doesn't become a big problem. When you lose, as Mike Tomlin said, the vultures come out.
Warren on the pitch, and he will try to split those 2 defenders, picks up 1. And that was the main point that Mike Tomlin tried to make to us, and really has tried to make to George. He said, I'm not trying to sidestep this. I know it's an issue. I know that the effort is a legitimate concern. Does he need to improve as a man? Does he need to improve as a player? Does he need to improve as an individual? Absolutely. Said all of those things. Said, but it's probably more heightened because of the losses.
Yeah.
And the work and the trajectory speeds up when you start winning, and you can do it on your own time outside of the public eye. He's hoping a game like tonight could help do that for Pickens and company. Rudolph fields that snap, leaves it for Warren, who wiggles forward across the 30.
Right now, part of what Pittsburgh wants to do, Eddie Faulkner, new offensive coordinator, Mike Sullivan, the play caller and quarterback coach, they want to use clock too. And they're well aware of Cincinnati's ability to come back and their confidence late in ball games. So they want to keep possession, they want to make first downs, but also they want to run the clock the best they can here in this fourth quarter.
Warren stays in there, 3rd and 4. Rudolph lofted it. He likes to go deep. Oh, he just missed Johnson. He had the step, could have had another house call. Instead, it's 4th down.
Yeah, Mike Hilton, the former Steeler, is excellent as a blitzer and a run defender, but if you get him in man coverage, he can struggle a little bit. And Deontay Johnson ran right by him. Mason Rudolph just couldn't connect. Had what he wanted and had room, just didn't make the right throw.
Second straight 3-and-out for this Pittsburgh offense, and a quick stop for Cincinnati to get the football back. Harvin, buddy, fired up. Players have talked about what it does to energize them, and right off the bat, Watt got some good penetration, forced the short completion to Mixon, but a flag is down.
Well, he got the penetration, and he's going to get the holding call again, I think, on Jonah Williams. And T.J. Watt has made life miserable for Jonah Williams
offense,
today.
Number 73. It's a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think he makes life miserable for a lot of tackles around the NFL.
But Jonah Williams, this is his first year playing right tackle. You see he gets that left arm around the neck. It was a good, quick inside move by T.J. Watt. Jonah Williams has been a left tackle his whole career. He's at right tackle now. And the bonus for that is, oh, you get to go against T.J. Watt.
Makes it 1st and 20 now for Browning, and another whistle. Just see the body language from Williams. This one could go against him again.
False start. Offense. Number 73.
See, here's
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Now, T.J. Watt is a future Hall of Famer, and he has relentless effort. He never gives up on a play. He never stops grinding and straining. And then you combine Alex Highsmith on the other side. They are just difficult to deal with. And then when you can't run the football like Cincinnati can, the game falls into the favor of these edge rushers like T.J. Watt.
No penalties all night. Back-to-back now for Cincinnati to make it 1st and 25. Dump it, Chase Brown, a lot of speed, but he can't utilize it there. Wrapped up by Miles Jack as he crosses the 20.
See, here's the problem, though. If you say, okay, let's keep a back end or a tight end in to help, well, then that means you're not releasing as many guys into the pass route. Now, you've got some great wideouts. You're missing your best. But Cincinnati's pass offense is really at its best with 4 and 5 guys out, not with only 3 guys out.
And while they've been willing to take those shots downfield, not at the same rate necessarily as when Joe Burrow's been under center, we'll see if at some point they let Browning let it loose a bit. 2nd and 19, deep drop for Browning. Steps up in the pocket, fires, dangerous, it's intercepted. Alex Highsmith takes it away. 3rd of the day for Browning, and the Steelers clicking on all cylinders down the stretch.
Well, here was the counter by Pittsburgh. So T.J. Watt is going to get extra attention. Watch, T.J. is going to get attention by 2 guys here. Highsmith is going to drop into coverage, and then he ends up reading the quarterback's eyes and falling right into it for the interception. These 2 guys are as good of a duo of edge rushers as there is in the National Football League, and they're very versatile in their skill sets.
Second game this year. Highsmith has a sack and an interception. Did it against Cleveland. Loved playing the end of AFC North. And 3 turnovers, season high in interceptions for Pittsburgh. A season matcher. Browning had 3 coming in on the year in his career. He's got 3 now continuing in this game.
And Pittsburgh nearing that elusive 400-yard mark, too, at 368 total yards. They did it when these 2 teams played. The week after Matt Canada was fired as the offensive coordinator and Eddie Faulkner and Mike Sullivan took over. But as you said earlier, they only scored 16 points. And that was the first game in 58 games that they gained over 400 yards. They're getting close to it today.
They also haven't had a 300-yard passer in quite some time. Mason Rudolph's at 279. Najee Harris has another first down. Group tackle there, but they just keep this thing working. And that duo of Faulkner and Sullivan have just found the right rhythm here tonight.
This Pittsburgh Steelers team, the last 2 home games before this one, they lost to a 2-10 Arizona team and a 2-10 New England team, and really got completely outplayed in both of them. And today they're giving the home crowd something better to watch and cheer for.
Looking for their 20th consecutive non-losing season. It would be 17 in a row for Mike Tomlin as the head coach. They need to win 2 of 3 to finish the year. If they could win all 3, put themselves in that playoff picture down the stretch in the AFC. They finish off at Seattle, at Baltimore. Harris finds the hole, follows his blocking, keeps the legs churning. Powerful run to the 25.
Now this is just power, inside zone running. They've got Allen Robinson, the big body wide receiver, just kind of in there to cut off the backside edge here. And then just counting on Najee Harris to keep those legs going and grind out positive yardage and grind out the clock. And you can see Pittsburgh right now taking time in the huddle, letting that play clock work down, and then coming to the line of scrimmage and snapping it with only a couple seconds left on the play clock.
Who would have thought coming into the season that Acrisure Stadium would be chanting Mason Rudolph's name? And here we are with 10 minutes to play in this fourth quarter. Flag is down on the Harris run. And this Pittsburgh faithful is loving what they're seeing at a number 2.
Well, we said at the beginning of the show, he's aggressive and he likes to push the ball downfield. And he has done that today. He hasn't hit all of them, but he's hit enough of them to put a little sense of excitement in this place. And points on the scoreboard.
Just a microcosm of this season as a whole. The backup quarterbacks across the league. 58 different starting quarterbacks now, with Rudolph getting his shot tonight. Kenny Pickett, good chance that he's back next week. And now Mike Tomlin and company will have the decision, especially if Pickett is not completely 100% inactive tonight. Got Trubisky as the backup.
Offense. The penalty declined. The result of the play is 3rd down.
So Cincinnati will take their defensive stop and move forward with 3rd down. And look, Kenny Pickett as a starter, 10-4. The last 14 games he started, the Steelers have had success. Now the offense hasn't been explosive by any stretch, but he hasn't made many mistakes necessarily to put them in any poor position. You see Mitch Trubisky right there next to him, has started the last 2 games and had been benched at the end of the 4th quarter last week against Indianapolis. And of course today, Rudolph getting his chance as a result. 3rd down and 3 now. Handoff for Warren, and Warren bursts forward. He's got the first down.
Again, a nice little change of pace. Different running styles between Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Nice double team. Guards getting to the 2nd level of the Bengal defense. And the Steelers just trying to grind this one out now. There's Eddie Faulkner next to Jaylen Warren. Nice plan they have put together and utilizing these 2 backs, keeping them both fresh here in the 4th quarter.
Mike Tomlin loves what they bring as a duo. So they are interchangeable in so many ways. And Warren has done a great job in pass protection as well on 3rd down. And this is what Harris has done all night, just chew up tough yards. It was like every run has been into the teeth of the defense, and he has been efficient with 80.
Last time these 2 teams played, Pittsburgh won the rushing battle 153-25. Right now it's 114-30. Oh, that number's changing on me a little bit. 111-30.
Well, it's always fun when you see the official stats just goes up. Wait, nope, yep, yes. They change it, blink a number, give us a different one. Either way, 2nd and 8. Masterful job of running this clock down. This time Cincinnati sniffs it out, and they dump Harris in the backfield. Mike Hilton coming on from that safety spot as he does so well, from that nickel corner generally, and finds the tackle. Tough night for Jake Browning. 3 interceptions, matches what he had coming into the night on the season. And after what was really a sensational finish to the game last week, especially against a team that cut him, he was emotional afterward, looked into the camera and said, should have never cut me, maybe with some more colorful language in there as well. And really expressed some regret for some of the emotion that he had right after the game. Said that it was more of a team effort, especially when he watched back the tape. Felt like a lot of other people deserved it instead of it being the Browning revenge game, as a nice grab by Robinson along the sideline. So Robinson, with that catch, is up over 30 yards for the first time since week 1. And now 4th and short. We'll see what Mike Tomlin elects to do. Talking to his special teams coordinator, Danny Smith.
I think he's going to let the clock go all the way down again, use one of his 3 timeouts, and then decide. Very good clock management right now by Pittsburgh, the way they're operating in and out of the huddle, and even right now with what Mike Tomlin's doing.
I'll take it with 7:19 to play. Analytics tell you to take the field goal. Well, Matt Canada was let go a little over a month ago. And that first game, everybody really got to see some of the potential of this offense. 421 yards, only the 16 points. But since then, they had gone down each week. 317, 264, 216. The season low last week against Indianapolis. And this week has been a different story so far tonight. 393. They've also got a season high, 31 points.
Yep. Well, that game last week, they jumped out to a 13-0 lead and then gave up 30 unanswered points. It was a tough day for the defense. It was a tough day for Mitch Trubisky in the offense. And it's been a different story today.
So it looks like field goal unit will be out there. Chris Boswell. Jake Browning has had some sparkling moments. It's just 3 critical mistakes on 3 interceptions that have cost his team.
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, he's made a lot of good plays. But again, those have been critical errors, and they lead to scores. And Highsmith has been outstanding. He's younger than T.J. Watt, but he's learned from T.J. Watt, and he just gets better and better every time he goes out on the field. That little fake caused the left tackle to look inside, and then he just beat the left tackle again. The Bengals went out and signed Orlando Brown as an unrestricted free agent in order to block Highsmith and some of the other edge rushers in the AFC North. Highsmith has had a day today.
Chase Brown, first down carry, scampers forward and gets hit hard at the 30-yard line. Highsmith, productive sack and an interception here tonight. Second time he's done that this season. Just continues, to your point, and that was something we asked about with T.J. Watt, just how he's really emerged as a leader over the course of his career. So when he first got to Pittsburgh, he was quiet, he was a sponge, but now he said, I don't want to keep all my information. I want to spread it around, especially in the linebacker room. He said he and Alex Highsmith are always exchanging ideas, talking shop, trying to figure out what moves best work based on the matchups as Browning keeps and slides down back at the line of scrimmage, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5. But that's really, it goes to T.J. Watt and how he's learned, how he was brought up with his older brothers and learning from guys that he's played with, and now Alex Highsmith can pass down that same Steeler tradition to the next generation.
Well, and it's such a position of tradition and history here with the Steelers. I mean, there have been great edge rushers that have played as outside linebackers in this Steeler defense and defensive concept. And there's a lot of pride in wearing that jersey and playing that position.
3rd and 5 for Browning. Lets it fly. Wide open. Trenton Irwin over the middle of the field, and he's tripped up. Eric Rowe got to him, picks up 22 across midfield to the 48.
Nice protection that time. Nice clean pocket for Jake Browning. Looked backside and hit Irwin on a little dig route.
For Zach Taylor, he really felt like this was a game they had to have. Said he learned from losing to this Steeler team his first 2 years as a head coach, learned from beating them. His last 2 years as a head coach now without Joe Burrow, had to find that happy medium with Browning, and the Steelers delivered that first punch and never really looked back as Mixon explodes to the 40-yard line.
Tackle by Miles Jack, who again has had a very active day. Remember, Landon Roberts went out of the game early, did not return. Miles Jack, we knew we were going to see him in some nickel and dime situations. He's ended up playing
completely eliminate them, but it does make their path the final 2 weeks a little bit more difficult, especially considering who they have to play. They have to go to Arrowhead, play Kansas City, of course playing on Monday against the Raiders, and then they finish off with another division matchup, the Browns, who had defense. You want to talk about a stout defense.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett and that company have done just outstanding work all season. Joe Flacco has injected new life into that offense. And with the loss, that current playoff probability dips down below 20% now as Wilcox looks like he jumped.
Offense, number 84. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Even so, Zach Taylor has done a really impressive job with this team. His 5th year as the head coach, just 40 years old. Another one of those, hey, he was the young guy, although it's hard when Sean McVay is still the young guy and has been there for almost a decade in LA at this point. But Zach Taylor has proven himself. Joe Burrow goes down in week 11 at Baltimore. Jake Browning comes in over this last month and has put his team back in playoff position. No Jamar Chase today. They hope to have him back potentially next week for that clash in Kansas City. 3rd and 6. Browning feeling the pressure. Down he goes. Another sack for the Steelers. Myles Jack gets home.
Well, they dropped the edge. Here's Myles Jack. He's going to come on an inside stunt. They haven't shown this. Why not let Myles Jack get in on the sack party? He's a guy who was here all year last year. He knows this defense. He's in football-ready shape now, and he has played well in a reserve role today.
Robbins gets it away for Austin. Lets it fly. Oh, what a bounce. That's why they drafted this young man out of Michigan. They love his touch, hang time, and he downs it inside the 5. Jedrick Jackson, just elevated from the practice squad, gets downfield on a 51-yard punt.
Well, we talked about Mason Rudolph. He started the game, the second play of the game, this throw to George Pickens. And it just was like a breath of confidence and fresh air, not only into the quarterback and that receiver, but this crowd. And he just never really slowed down. He stayed aggressive, firing the football down the field, taking his shots, playing with confidence, throwing it away when he had to throw it away, dumping it off when he had to dump it off. Really a solid performance, and really credit the guy for staying prepared, right? Staying ready, being a professional, not knowing when your opportunity was going to come, but then ready to capitalize when it did.
Oh, a stumble from Warren, and now can Rudolph get outside of the end zone? He just barely does save the safety.
You know, now even this is not a big play by the quarterback, but it's a heck of a play, a smart play. The running back falls down. Get it out of the end zone. Avoid the safety. Avoid a disaster play, and he does that.
Warren delivers just enough of a block to allow for Rudolph to get free, but now you're backed up.
Is that what that was?
I'll call that a block. I'm a generous guy.
I think it was just the wrong guy got tackled is what I think.
They call me Positive Peter. Najee Harris in there now on 2nd and 13. They will give it to him, try to get some breathing room. Maybe